Hello guys, this is Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we offer to you many lessons. So I'll quickly discuss with you some questions on atomic structure. So please make sure that you follow. So the first question is saying, how many valence electron does an atom with electrons, 11 electrons? So we know that the first shell, which is the 1s, the first shell, which is 1, and then the s is the orbital. So the first shell is normally has 2 electrons. So the first shell will have 2 electrons. And then when you talk of the second shell which has four orbitals. So the second shell has 4 orbitals. Okay, so this second shell, it has 2s, it also has 2py, 2px, and 2pz, of which each of these electrons are able to accommodate, each of these orbitals are able to accommodate 2 electrons. So you find that there are 2, there are 2, there are 2, there are 2. So the second energy level, which is the 2, is simply going to have 8 of them. And then the first one, it only has 1 orbital. Remember, this guy has only 1 orbital. Okay, so because it has 1 orbital, it can only accommodate 8 electrons. 2 electrons. So this guy will only have 2 electrons. Okay, so 2 plus 8, which is giving us 10. So the last energy level that we are going to have is the third one, which is the 3s. Remember, in the third energy level, you have the 3s, 3p, and also 3d. But since this guy is only remaining with 1 electron, so that means that the last shell will simply have only 1 electron, which is that one there. So that means that our answer for this question was simply 1. Okay, all right, let me move on. How many valence electron does the following atom have? Okay, so if you look at this this element, so this element, you're going to find that the 1s here is simply standing for the first shell. So this is the first shell. Okay, then the other one, which we normally have, is the 2p and 2s. So the second shell is simply having 8. Okay, then there is having how many? Is simply having 2. And then the third shell, which is this one, it is also having 8. So the third shell, it is having 8. Okay, so when you talk of the last shell, which is the 4s2, so the 4s2 is having 2 electrons. Okay, so it's having 2 electrons. Okay, so actually this element is likely to be in group 2. This element is likely to be in group 2. So the valence electron in this case is just simply equal to 2. So that is our answer there. All right, so guys, please make sure that you subscribe as we work together. Okay, so the next one is saying neutrons of all isotopes of the same elements have neutral atoms of all isotopes. Okay, so these are neutral atoms, which normally we just say atoms. Okay, so this question is simply saying atoms of all isotopes, and we know that when we talk of isotopes, okay, so when we talk of isotopes, one thing we need to understand is that they have one same atomic number. Okay, so they have the same atomic number. That's the first one. these guys, they also have same protons, okay, and then they have same electrons when they are neutral, same electrons, okay. So they have same electrons when they are neutral, and then the only thing which is different is the different neutron number. So the neutrons are the ones which are different, which is causing different mass number. So different mass number, okay. So that's what we need to know when answering this question. So the first option is different number of proton, which is wrong. Equal number of neutron, which is wrong. The same number of electron, the same mass number, is smaller. So this is simply the answer there. All right, so let me go on the next one, which should be number 4. Which of the following has a positive charge? Okay, so this is where you need to consider the charges, okay. So which of the following has a positive charge? Okay, so we really need to be so careful when solving this question. So the first thing you need to understand is an atom. What an atom is made up of, okay. What an atom is made up of, okay. So you need to understand that an atom is made up of a positively charged proton. So protons are positively charged, okay. And then these guys are positive, and then when you talk of neutrons are neutral, okay, just like the way the name says it. So neutrons are neutral. That means that they have no charge, okay. So neutrons have no charge. Now let's talk of the other guys, which are which. So an anion, is it an anion? I can see something like an anion, okay. So when you talk of an anion is just simply negatively charged, okay. So this guy is negatively charged, okay. So this guy is negatively charged because there are more electrons, okay. So there are more electrons, that's why this guy is negatively charged, or it has gained an electron, it has gained electrons, okay. So that's what we can say there. Then when you talk of an electrons, these are negatively charged, these guys are negatively charged, okay. And then when you talk of an atom is neutral, okay. An atom is neutral. Why? Because protons are equal to electrons. So these guys, they really neutralize each other. So what's the answer in this case, looking at my explanation? So the answer here is simply protons, which is our answer there, okay. Which of the following is the most electronegativity? So the answer there is just simply oxygen, okay. So when you talk of this electronegativity, electronegativity, if we were to define electronegativity, what could be the definition? So electronegativity is the tendency of an atom of a given chemical element to attract shared electrons when forming a chemical bond. So when this guy is all about the ability of an atom to attract electrons, okay. So during the sharing of electron, let's say in a chemical bond, let's say between oxygen and hydrogen. So a covalent bond between oxygen and hydrogen. So this is oxygen and that is hydrogen there. Okay, so if you look at this bond, you discover that oxygen has a high electronegativity, so it pulls electron toward itself, and then hydrogen has less electronegativity. So it's just the tenders of an atom to pull electrons toward it when they are sharing electrons. So you find that in this bond, oxygen is pulling, okay, oxygen is pulling electrons toward it. It's more like it's more selfish, okay. So oxygen there is just pulling electrons, okay. So I would advise you to make sure that you know how these guys are. The next one is, which of the following conclusions are correct? Atoms contain electrons. The mass of an atom is determined by the nucleus, which is true. The mass is determined by the nucleus. Why? Because electrons have no mass. Electrons have no mass, but quite all right, it has mass, but that mass is so minimal. So what determines the mass of an atom is just simply equal to protons plus neutrons, okay, protons and neutrons. So the mass of an atom is much concentrated in what is much concentrated on the protons and neutrons, which make up the nucleons, which are part of the nucleus. So atoms contain protons, which is correct. That is correct. So I can't go further. Automatically we can say the answer there is all of the above. The next one, which one of the following is not correct? The shells closest to the nucleus have the lowest energy level. Two atoms of the same element must have the same number of protons. Oh, two atoms of the same element, okay, same element, two atoms of the same element must have the same number of what? Protons. Then an electron is found at a fixed position in its orbital. 1s and 2s are in different shells. The two electrons in a given orbital face in the opposite. So when you look at all these statements, the answer here is all of the above. All of the above. Yeah, I'm sure that option was not there in this exam paper, but the answer is simply all of the above, because this is true. Two orbitals, two electrons. So electrons, they normally stay like that in an orbital. They are in opposite direction. And the closest shell, the shell closest to the nucleus has the lowest energy level. For example, the 1s. So the 1s has a lower energy level than the 2s. Okay. Then 1s and 2s, which is correct. These guys are in different shells. So for this one, all of the above were correct. Okay. The next one is, choose the true statement. Okay, choose the true statement. The first shell of an atom has two orbitals. Nope, this is wrong. So the first shell of an atom has only one orbital. Okay, there's only one orbital in the first shell. The second shell of an atom has 4 2p's. No, that is wrong. They are not supposed to be 4. Instead, they have to be 3. So we have 2px, 2py, and 2pz. All right. So those are the 4 guys we need to understand. An orbital of an atom is the same as the shell. No. An orbital is a region within a shell. So if this is a shell, there is a part of it which is having a region which is much concentrated with electrons. So this region, so if this is the shell, then that would be an orbital. So this guy is going to be an orbital. Okay, so it is in this orbital, that's where now you can find what we are calling an electron. So you can find an electron there, you can also find another electrons. Okay, so within a shell, the p orbital is at higher energy level than the, which is very correct. So the answer there, it is that one. Okay, that's why when writing to the energy level, we say 2s down, and then the p's are going to be up. So 2p will be a bit up. All right. The next one is the nitrogen atom has dash. The answer is just simply equal to let's see, 2 lone pair of electron in the 2s. Okay, that's and then yeah, this question is very correct, is very direct, and someone cannot fail it. Okay, so the next one is saying 2 lone pairs of electron in the 2s. No, this is wrong. This one is wrong. 1 lone pair of electrons in the 2p. No. Okay. What's there? The other one is saying. The other one is saying 3 unpaired electrons in the third shell. Okay, all right. Okay, let's pick up the proton number then. Let's pick up the proton number. So the proton number is simply 7. So we know that the first shell is going to have 2, isn't it? Yeah, the first shell is going to have 2 electrons. Okay, it's going to have 2 electrons. Yeah, we get that. Then from there, we are remaining with 5, right? We are remaining with 5. So 5, this one is going to be that one, like that, for s orbital. Then the p orbital, which is 1, 2, 3, they're going to have that. Okay. All right. I'm sure someone can pick it up from there, unless someone hasn't observed that. So this one cannot be the answer. A mass number of 14. A mass number of 14. Okay, 3 unpaired electrons in the third shell. 3 unpaired. This is the second shell, so this is not the answer. Okay. What's next? We have two options there. The next one is a mass of that, a valence of 3. So the valence is coming from those 3. So the answer is simply equal to that one. Here, I'm sure it was supposed to be a mass of 14. But when you look at nitrogen has a mass of 14.00 something there. Okay. All right. Let me quickly go down. Choose the correct statement. True statement about the atomic number. It's the number of electrons, the nucleus of an atom. It is the number of electrons. No. So valence, is it valence number? Atomic number. So when you talk of atomic number, it's just simply equal to proton number. Proton number. So when you talk of proton number, these protons are found in the nucleus. These protons are found in the nucleus. No matter what, the proton number doesn't change. It doesn't change. Whether an atom has undergone some chemical reactions, the proton number doesn't change. So it is the number of protons in the nucleus. So the answer is just simply equal to that one. All right, let me go down again. The bond between that and that is ionic bond. So yeah, I'm sure that is very simple. It's ionic bond. So an ionic bond is the second strongest bond. Ionic bond is the second strongest bond. So we have covalent. From covalent we have ionic, and then from ionic we have hydrogen bonds and other stuffs. Okay, so actually the weakest covalent bond is the hydrogen bond. Please take note of that. So that one comes the weakest. So in this case our answer is just an ionic bond. So an ionic bond involves losing and gaining of electrons. Losing and gaining of electrons. Okay, of electrons. So make sure that you take note of that. Then let me go down. The atomic number of a given element is the number of protons. I've already explained that guy. Okay, then we go next. Isotopes are atoms that have the same dash and dash. So this I've already explained. Isotopes. Okay, so the answer there is just simply that. I've already explained on top. The element which has mass number of 12, this is carbon. Carbon, which is C14. Oh, sorry, not C14. I'm really sorry for that. Okay, but I'm sure someone has forgiven me. Okay, so carbon 12, then you have the number of protein, which is simply equal to 16 or 6, sorry. So the answer there is just simply that one. Okay, let me go down. The region of an atom which can be filled up. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked of an orbital. An orbital is just a region within the shell where you can find a lot of, you can find one, not a lot, one or two electrons. So electrons are found in the region called orbital. So the answer there is just an atomic orbital. Okay. The next one is for the second shell to be filled up, it must simply have 8 electrons. Remember, the second shell has two types of orbitals. It has two types of orbitals. So it has two types of orbitals, and then the number of orbital, there are 8. Number of orbital, sorry, there are 4. So you need to differentiate between types and the number. So when I talk of type, I'm just simply talking about the S, P, D, F and stuff when I talk of type. Okay, let me quickly go down again. Which of the following has a polar covalent bond between its atoms? Then, so what's funny here is that when you look at this one, majority of you will be a little bit confused, because you're simply looking at the fact that you expect water somewhere. and then you find that there is no water. But to make things easier, you just need to look for what dissolves in water. What dissolves in water? What dissolves in water? So amongst the substances, what dissolves in water is just glucose. Glucose. You'll be like, hey, can you kindly make a glucose solution for me? Especially when you are having a very hard and tough time. You just take a sip of glucose. Yeah, so mostly where I come from, we call glucose solution as skoloki, or yeah, something like that. Ozigolo. But anyway, no need of that. Yeah, that's how we call it. Which of the following substances contain an ionic bond? Oh, guys have already explained this one, which is just sodium chloride. So sodium plus chlorine, they form sodium chloride. They form sodium chloride, which is ionic. Okay. All right, guys, so please make sure that you know that. So sodium chloride is just a common salt. Number 19. Which of the following is true about the type of bond in liquid water? Oh my God. So you need to understand that water has what? Water has polar covalent bonds, and then this same water, it also has hydrogen bonds. Okay, hydrogen bond. Okay, so contain hydrogen bonds only? No. Water contains no. That one is making things bad. Water contains both polar covalent bond, which is simply correct. Okay. The next question is, which of the following substance does not have hydrogen bond? Wow. So which one doesn't have hydrogen bond? Let's quickly look at it. So you look at water. Water forms hydrogen bonds amongst itself. DNA, it is a nucleic acid, which is both polar and which is both hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Get that right? It is both hydrophilic and hydrophobic. DNA, just in case you are asked. Then transfer RNA is also the same as that. Polypeptide is a protein, and you know that proteins, they have NH3. So because of that they are said to be polar. Then when you talk of our last nigger there, who is glyceride. So glyceride is like a lipid, and falling under lipid. So the answer here is just glyceride. Okay, we go on the main guy there. So choose the correct answer in descending strength. Automatically, you need to understand that the first guy is going to be covalent bond, then ionic, or van der Waals forces. So van der Waals forces and hydrogen bonds are a bit stronger. So hydrogen bonds are a little bit stronger. Okay, that's why it's very hard to break down hydrogen bonds in water. Okay, but van der Waals forces, these are temporal forces. These forces are temporal. They're not permanent, they're temporal. So the answer here is just simply this one. But, I've said but, the weakest, okay, the weakest covalent bond, the weakest covalent bond is hydrogen bond. Okay, hydrogen bond. So make sure that you know the difference between such questions. Compared to the charge and mass of protein and electron, so automatically an electron is one, has no is negative, two, has no mass. doesn't care about the weight. So the answer is simply C there. Okay. All right. Then we go on the next guy. Which of the following are isotopes? Though there it was typing error, but but we know that these guys can be isotopes, those guys can be isotopes. The answer is just oxygen. The electron involved in chemical reactions are always found in the what? Outermost shell. Okay. Let me quickly go down. So guys, please make sure that you subscribe to our channel and also make sure that you revise. When oxygen is involved in a chemical reaction, so atomic number doesn't change, it doesn't change. Protons don't change. Protons, no, it's electrons. Atomic number decreases, no. Neutrons are involved, no. Atomic number remains the same. That's the answer. So the proton, atomic number, which is equal to proton number. These guys are constants. Okay, but what is involved in a chemical reaction is electrons. Okay, so electrons are the ones that take part in a chemical reaction. Okay, an ion with 15 protons, 16 neutrons, and a charge of negative has an atomic number of, so negative. What does this mean? So before I even go anywhere, the word is atomic number. Like I said, it doesn't change. So because it doesn't change, of course it will still remain 15. It will still remain 15. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so just in case I don't come across a question for mass number, so mass number, you just add the number of neutrons plus protons. Okay, you just add those two guys, then you're going to have the mass number. Okay, then the electrons are equal to the number of protons. The maximum number of electrons that can occupy the first shell, guys, I talked about this. It is just 2. Why? Because we only have one orbital. We only have one orbital in the first shell, in the first energy level. First energy level. All right, which is the 1s. All right, guys. The next one, the orbital of the second shell of an atom are, oh my god, so the second shell is just having 2s, 2px, 2py, and 2pz. Okay, so these guys are as a result of orientation. Okay, so these guys are as a result of orientation or direction. Okay, they are as a result of orientation or direction. So if you look at that, our answer will simply be equal to D. Okay, so let me go. Choose the statement which is correct. The carbon dioxide molecule has 2 covalent bonds. 2 covalent. Are you sure? Like, really? It's carbon dioxide, which is CO2. You know, there can be 2. In the formation of carbon dioxide, electrons are no, they are not donated. Instead, they are shared. Okay. The water molecule has 2 covalent single bonds. 2 covalent single bond. 2 covalent single bond. Okay. 2 covalent single bonds. What are we talking about here? Yes, it's correct. It's correct. Very correct. Very correct. All right. So there we go. The answer is simply equal to this one. Why is carbon dioxide? So carbon dioxide is something like this type. This is how carbon dioxide looks like, which is that one. Water, it is HOH, making an angle which is 104.5 to 109. Yeah, degrees. That's the angle. It makes a tetrahedron structure. Okay. Let me quickly go down and see what I have next. So I think I don't have anything. So guys, this was Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can simply call me or inbox me or WhatsApp me on 0965887474. Please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and also make sure that you register with that. By the way, we are going to start offering classes in courses like anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, pharmacology. We are also going to be offering psychology. We are also going to be offering in I've mentioned microbiology, micro and immunology. So all those courses, especially health related courses, we are going to be offering them at Excel Academy. So it's very important for you guys to make sure that you you register with us and make sure that you are ready for the exam. All right guys, this was Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. Please go and study hard, and also like and follow our Facebook page. Thank you. Have a blessed day.